Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 36 of the Cooler Guild. I am Coop Cooper, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host Van Crisp.
Hello.
We are recording on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. On today's episode, we have the unfortunate task of going over Reign's loss to the Washington Spirit, but we'll also be doing a brief wrap-up of the other results in the league and doing a preview for the Reign's next match, among some other kind of WOSO highlights. But first, some housekeeping. The Cooler Guild is part of the Sound at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sound at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at soundatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing?
I'm sick. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I have some sort of sinus thing going on. So it was a long weekend. I think it caught up to me.
Yeah. But your team won.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you're still ranked 11th, right?
We went up one. We were 12th last week. So we're
okay.
this week.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So no, I'm just trying to have a chill day today.
Good for you.
How about you?
Well, I have been long awaiting this new video game called Cattle Country, which came out today. And it's like Stardew Valley, but it's like a crossover of that and Red Dead Redemption. So it's like a little farm game, but with like hunting and bandits and stuff. There's already glitches, but again, it's the first day the game's been out, so I guess it's expected. Anyways, if anyone's into Stardew Valley, I'd recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah, super cool. It seems a lot harder than Stardew Valley, but oh well, I need a challenge. Otherwise, I've been joining the sun as much as I can. Alex is leaving this weekend, so I'm planning to just stay inside and play video games, even though it's going to be super nice outside.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, bad news is we have to go over the Reign match.
I know, it was so... Ugh.
Yeah, I have been not looking forward to this.
No, me either. Anyway, I'll get into the recap. The Reign took on the Washington Spirit Friday night at Lumen Field. The Spirit got on board first in the 11th minute when Casey Kruger's cross into the box saw two unmarked attackers ready to pounce. But desperate defending caused Shea Holmes to stick her foot in and ultimately score an own goal. But just 6 minutes later, Holmes found her revenge when she got on the end of a Madison Craig cross to equalize the match. The Spirit would go ahead again with the final goal of the match in the 35th minute when Ashley Hatch took advantage of atrocious defending and had an easy tap in from a Gift Monday cross. Another forgettable loss for Seattle, who once again could not seem to find their footing at home.
This is like several matches now where we're just not performing well.
It's just so frustrating because it's not like we can't do it.
No. Do you think it's like we're missing like another piece, or do you think it's like the injuries that we had just like didn't help?
I think kind of all of the above.
Yeah.
I mean, the team's their own worst enemy at this point.
As they said, yeah. Because we know that this team, even with the players that are injured, can show up and can play these top teams. And it didn't happen this week. Granted, Biondolo didn't start, which, I was skeptical when I saw that, but it was because we got to see Adames start. And, people had been wanting to see her. I don't know that this is like, I wouldn't say that this performance, I'm going to like knock Adames and not want to give her another chance. The Spirit team is really good.
Yeah.
I think they're really good. And then we just weren't up to our standard.
Well, they were able to very early on expose the Reign's weakness.
It was so painful to watch from the beginning.
Yeah, it was so bad. I had to ask about it in the post-game press conference.
I saw you asked your first question.
In person, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It was just so sad.
Yeah.
We'll go into some notable stats, though. The Spirit, okay, for their part, they are now 5-0-0 on the road. So they're a very good away team.
Yeah. But like, we got to do better.
Yeah, we got to score more goals.
The other stat that I had brought up, we're like, our goal differential is like 0 right now. So we're in the top 3 of like, in the good way of goals, like people scoring on us. So we've only given up 9. So we're in the top.
Goals conceded.
Yeah. So we're there, but then we're in the bottom 3 of goals scored. So I feel like when I read that and saw the numbers, I'm like, okay, this result does make sense. And until we start to change something here with being able to score, this could continue.
Yeah.
Because that's, you can't, like, the other two teams that are in the bottom of scoring were Chicago and Utah.
Lord.
That is not company you want to have this year.
No, it's not. Not at all. But let's go to the positives before we absolutely tear this match apart. It was Shea Holmes's first professional goal. And as I heard, I think it was Steve say, also her first brace.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it was her first professional goal. So that's good for her.
Yeah. I mean, it's also good because it was like a vengeance goal kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was a quick response, which we don't always see from this team.
Not at all.
So that was nice to see. It was also made a huge difference when Fishlock and Coco came on in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, there was an immediate chance right after they subbed on. So
yeah, I feel like we're maybe underestimating Missy Mondesir, or like at least like, because I don't know, I've seen a lot of people be like, we need to go make a summer signing, but I'm like, Mondesir is very, very good.
And she does things that other players don't do, especially when she gets the ball down to the end line. She'll take players on and go to goal, and that creates immediate danger for the other team.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the complaints about this game were that we were trying to feed Darlene pretty much, that was kind of our main strategy. So only going up the left side doesn't really give you a lot of options. But if you've got Mondesir on the other side and Maddie on the other side, you got two sides that are working for you, hopefully.
Yeah, so it was like all the goals were scored in the first half. Second half, the performance was better. Not great, but better. And they have nothing to show for it other than not being scored on. Fishlock and Coco definitely changed the game and made the team more dangerous. So it's good that they're healthy, and I hope that they continue to stay healthy. Another thing that I noticed and was very heartening for me was Jordan Bugg was getting higher up the field. She had a couple really good long balls out to Madison Curry.
Yeah, that link up was nice.
One that ended up being like the Curry cross that started the goal sequence. So I like that for her. Mm-hmm. And she's got a really good pace on her passes on those long balls, and they're not just kind of errant and everywhere. So it was cool to see that, and it was definitely something that was very noticeable in helping the offense get higher up the pitch.
Yeah, and we know she can shoot a banger.
Yeah, we do.
So if she gets the right space for that and can't find the cross, we know she can try to make the shot. So one positive that I added to this was the good news is we don't play again until June 6th. I think they definitely need the time to regroup, and that should hopefully help. It's the start of a road series that I'm not super thrilled about, but given how this performance went and I would say like the last few games, we haven't really seen this team playing up to like some of the higher potential that they've had and shown at points in the season, that this can kind of give them more time to like look back at the other games and kind of see what went wrong.
Hopefully. Yeah.
As long as no one gets injured when they're on international duty, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people leaving for that.
Sure are, which is good and bad.
Yeah.
But things that I did not like, negatives. First thing I wrote was the team is frustrating to watch.
Yep.
That's it.
Nothing was going the right way. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of tenacity that we used to see in the first few games or whatever with the younger players. I feel like we were just kind of missing that. We were missing that the last game, even though we did get a win, and like they snuck out that win, right? The game before the Spirit won, they snuck that out. I think anyone could have watched that performance and been like, this is not a sustainable way to win a game.
Right.
And you're probably going to lose it more often than not too. So like, I'm not shocked at all by this performance, but I did expect more.
Yeah, and some players were showing that tenacity. Yeah. But it didn't seem like a team-wide philosophy for this match.
The Spirit have a pretty young squad. They also have a pretty fast team. And it seemed like maybe the weaknesses that we do have were kind of just very apparent in this match.
They were exploited.
Yes.
That entire left side in the beginning of the game with Shea Holmes to Lou Barnes was just absolutely getting destroyed.
It was so brutal to watch, just like over and over and over again. Because there was like a couple other chances that Spirit had in that half where like we could have been down like 4 goals.
Yeah. I mean, how many VAR checks were there in the first half? A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just was not fun to watch, and it kept happening. And I'm like, why are you not fixing this?
They couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me. They like Shea Holmes literally could not keep up. Lou Barnes could literally not keep up. And like, I get it. Like, you go and look at these players that the Spirit have, and they're not easy players to cover. But at the same time, like,
you've got to figure that it's a problem that you need to solve in the game.
Yeah.
And you got to figure it out. And they finally figured it out in the second half.
Exactly.
But it just was, you lost the game in the first half. You didn't figure it out fast enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Lou Barnes, that was not the game for her.
No. I don't know if this is the right... I mean, it's not a secret that Lou Barnes is more than likely nearing the end of her career. She definitely is. And to me, I'm starting to think like we need to go and find a Lou Barnes replacement in that position. Maybe in the summer window. I don't know. I'm curious what's on the market, I guess. That's maybe I need to go find like an article about like top people that might be looking to leave their clubs or making moves. But
yeah, somebody did ask if we were going to do any sort of transfer market stuff, and I was like, maybe we should get Susie or June on, because I feel like they know more than I do about that.
Yeah, definitely a place that I'm more than willing to have pick someone else's brain about.
For sure. Spirit also, I mean, Corey Bethune is back in full force. Hal Hirschfeld came back from injury late into this game today. So that just was not good for us.
And like, imagine if Trinity Rodman would have been playing.
No, it would have been torched.
It would have been bad. I don't know. Maybe they would have maybe they would have been more like ready for it though.
I don't know.
Another negative I wanted to point out was we talk about this week after week after week, but I could not believe how distracted they were. Like, to me, the way that the commentators had dealt with the second goal for the Spirit, in my head, I was like, we're not even losing, because their way they're talking about it is like they didn't even score. Like, because they were just sleepwalking through the entire commentary. They had like some other dialogue happening during that second goal. And I was like, I feel bad that we get scored on, but at the same time, when they don't really make it a moment, it felt less bad. So like, I guess maybe in my perfect world now, I want bad commentary if we're gonna lose.
Yeah, it was I rewatched it without sound.
Smart.
And then I watched the highlights with sound.
Ugh.
And it was just like, were they even watching the game? I had to go look up who crossed the ball, because I was like, who was that? Because they weren't even like, oh, Corey Bethune to Casey Kruger in with her left foot, but nothing.
It was like they're watching a baseball game.
Yeah, it was boring. The game was already boring. You don't have to make it more boring. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. You have any other negatives you want to call out?
No.
All right.
It is kind of a negative that they don't play a home game until August 1st.
Yeah.
But also, I'm in the middle of the USLW season, so it's fine for me.
From a personal standpoint, maybe it's fine.
Yeah. Into the press conference. Again, disappointing loss, disappointing performance. They send in some vets, which I respect. Some things I got out of this. They didn't know that it was Shea Holmes' first professional goal. Someone had to point it out.
Which is kind of funny. I don't know. I guess like, where has everyone been? But it's weird. Well, the weird thing is that they talked about how they had been practicing with Shea over the week to like try to get her to score a goal, and they somehow didn't know it was her first goal. I'm like, you were just practicing this for somebody who's never scored a goal, and you didn't realize she had never done this?
Oh, she's got that air of confidence.
I mean, I guess it worked.
Yeah. But yeah, Jess was saying, so they had Jess Fishlock and Phoebe McLaren in the press conference. Jess said, we can be happy for Shea and disappointed in the results. Like, those two things can coexist. And I'm like, yeah, but still sucks.
Also, she did score an own goal.
Yeah.
Granted, I think that goal was going in regardless. But the positioning was bad from everybody else around there, so...
I mean, it was almost virtually the same thing that happened in the second goal. The defender was not ball side. If you get in front of that defender, you whack the ball out, you clear it. But if you're behind them, your body positioning is so bad, it just goes in.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the Spirit's bread and butter sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And for how good the defending's been for most of the season, this was like very much a letdown.
Yeah, they should know better.
They should do better. You know, Phoebe's saying we hurt ourselves more than they hurt us, which definitely true. But
I will say they probably wouldn't have said that last year. Because like the team was definitely worse than like the Spirit.
Well, and that's the frustrating thing is they're not helping themselves.
No.
And it's like you're already having it hard enough. They're like basically a rebuild year.
Yeah, they're putting themselves in a difficult place to climb out of if they continue this.
Yeah, that's kind of all I got from their press conference. It was quite short. Both of these were.
I will say we did find out that like Lynn didn't start because they're just like trying to she's on some sort of restriction management.
Managing her minutes because playing full 90 coming off injury back to back to back.
And she got called up for the U.S.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see her back. We'll see how many minutes she plays for the U.S. It's always tricky when like you've got these national team players because sometimes maybe they limit their stuff for the club and then they go and play as much as they can for the national team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what about us?
I know. Laura basically a lot of questions about Kouassi, who was the one destroying our left side in the first half. But like, how do you prevent that? Her answer to that was keep Kouassi from getting the ball, which eventually worked.
Yeah.
But
too little, too late.
For me, it seems like it's hard because on one hand, you've got Kouassi on that side. The other side, you got Casey Kruger streaking down the side. It's tough. And I think that just didn't have the personnel on the field to manage that.
No, and I think this goes back to like, this is maybe why Darlene has started at times in a further back position because she actually does have the speed to keep up with dangerous players like this. I don't know. I mean, Shea Holmes is out for a while, but I like very much remember when we were like, did Shea Holmes get faster?
Yeah. The answer is no.
Like, the answer is apparently no. It's just like, a fluke is what it looks like to me at this point. As far as the speed goes, at least.
And if you don't have the speed, you have to figure out how to position yourself better. Like there are ways to compensate. And it just felt like they were very out of their depth.
I mean, you could see it on the goals.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we need to get Emily Mason a little bit more game time. I think she's a promising player in the back line. So
yeah. I was also hoping to see Maddie Mercado, but she was out with some sort of reason, but it wasn't an injury. So hopefully she'll be available.
Excused absence.
Yeah. So hopefully she'll be available in the future. Cause that was a player that I was like, I would have wanted to see her start even, and she wasn't available at all.
Right.
Cause I always think when she goes off the bench, she's pretty energized as well. So that would have been a nice person to bring in, but wasn't an option.
Anything else from this game?
It sucked. I didn't enjoy it.
I want more. I want better.
I do want more. I do want better. I do think that there's still plenty to be excited about for this team. It's just, I think we've got so many glimpses of how good it can be that we're sometimes maybe like our frustration with this, like we're not always keeping in mind that we're in a rebuild and we're maybe getting a little too hungry and too greedy too early. But these are also professional athletes. So I think there's some of these performances where I'm like, they can do better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I even bring myself back a little further into reality, I think would be.
Yeah. We're getting reality checks every week.
Yeah, every week's a reality check.
But hey, we've gotten more points like right now. Like I saw someone, I think on the broadcast, they pointed out how many points we had gotten at this point last year, it was all season how many points we got last year and how many points we're at this year. And it's not even close how bad we were last year. So
yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, it's definitely ignorant to think that this team is going to be like elite though.
Not this year, maybe next year.
Yeah.
But even though this match was generally not great, I did find, which you agreed on, a player to highlight for a cooler player of the match. The cooler player of the match is brought to you by the Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our first sponsor.
Guess who's back?
Yeah, guess who's back? back again.
Back again.
Phoebe McLaren.
To our Eminem references.
God.
Phoebe, you are back. We knew it was going to come again, but I'm sorry it was during a loss. But, you know, they got it together in the second half.
Between her and, again, it was a fight in my brain when I was contemplating this. It once again was a fight between Sam Meza and someone else.
Meza, yeah. I could have easily been swayed for Sam Meza this match.
Yeah. Phoebe McLaren, though, like, for how poorly the other players were playing defensively,
yeah,
she had a solid game.
Yeah.
And she was really good about clearing the ball, not back into dangerous areas. It just was the one bright spot of that back line, really.
Yeah, she led the team in completed passes with 51 passes. She also was second in recoveries with 7 recoveries.
Sam Meza had 10.
Yeah, and then tackles 1. Phoebe led that as well with 4. So for how much was getting thrown at them, I think she did pretty well. And I think she's deserving of being the cool player of the match this week.
Word. Congrats, Phoebe. Welcome back.
Thanks once again to our sponsor, The Doctor's Office. The Doctor's Office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a match. Make an appointment today and try out their agave. Here we go. Sunomono. I knew I was going to butcher this one. I did look this up. I tried to figure the pronunciation, but I saw some conflicting things. Sunomono cocktail. The agave Sonomuno cocktail. I could be butchering that. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying my best, but anyways, it's sesame oil, cucumber, and tequila collide in this ode to the perfect refreshing yet savory snack. Light, bright, and complex all at once. Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes Nos Arietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
Other results around the league. Utah played Orlando.
Utah sucks.
Yeah, Barbara Banda is back.
At least for one game.
Yeah. Chicago played Kansas City. Chicago lost. Casey put 3 on them, but Chicago got 1.
I'm glad for some reason, part of me was like, I think Chicago might win it. But I guess I'm just a Casey hater.
Yeah, there's that. Houston Bay game was interesting. That game tied 2-2. Only note I really took from this was Abby Smith came up with, I think it was like 3 big saves, but that she also got beat on a 1v1. Like she was out in the middle of no man's land and got stepped around and scored on. So, but she still got starting spot from Jane Campbell. So interesting there.
Angel City lost to Louisville and they lost 3-2. This game was kind of wild.
Yeah.
There was some hair pulling.
That was insane.
Who was the player from Louisville that pulled her hair?
I don't know. They didn't say it on the broadcast.
Classic. I was reading about her from Reddit, which, take that out with a grain of salt.
Who was it?
Let me look it up. We should know what we're spewing before we spew it.
Yeah, we had this problem last week.
Never.
I tried to go through so much stuff to get ready, and I just couldn't do it.
Listen, I'm really distracted by my cattle country.
I'm also on a lot of cold medicine.
Was it Kayla Fisher? Kayla Fisher got the red card. So
it must have been her, yeah.
So from what I've read, she's kind of like known for antics like this. I'd be curious to go see like a reel of her other foul history, because it sounds like this is just a reoccurring thing, which is not good.
That's not good at all.
Not something you want to see. So there was that, but then Angel City like probably got robbed of a handball. He put down it was the 84th minute. I know that there's like debate on like hands in a natural position, but at the same time, like we've determined that VAR is going to look at all these plays now, right? So at this point, if you're in the box and a ball like might get swung at you while you're in that area, like you should know at this point to put your arms behind your back or like in front of you or something like to your body.
Well, the thing with
if you try to claim that this is a natural position, but your arms are just flailing, that's not natural. I think if you're falling to the ground and you're catching yourself, sure, and then it hits you, that's fine. That maybe I could be sold on that. But that one to me, I'm like, your arm is out.
Well, there's two different ways you could go about this. It could be, yes, your body is moving that way and the momentum is taking you until your arm naturally goes out, right? But also, you're making your body bigger.
Exactly.
And you're cutting off across in the box that literally hits your hand. I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's like, okay, well, what is a handball now?
I've seen that
be called.
I've seen that like in the last like several years. That's been called as a handball like 95, maybe even more % of the time that I've watched.
Yeah. And
I don't think that the NWSL has a very good VAR system this year. Previous year is also not great, but I have seen a lot of really bad calls and missed calls and not good. Not a good look for the refs who already have not been looking good.
Not at all. Then the team we play next, San Diego, throttled North Carolina 5-2.
I mean, the only solace in there is that North Carolina hasn't been very great this year.
Yeah, and North Carolina kept up. I mean, until San Diego went off in the second half, they were keeping up.
Yeah. Casey Murphy didn't have a good game.
I don't know that she's had a good game this season.
I do think San Diego, like if they get going, they have a lot of very, very threatening players that do scare the shit out of me for when we play them.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we saw happen here.
But I will say like I feel good about our goalkeeper situation.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, North Carolina got 2 on them.
Yeah.
So they're not, I said this about Washington too.
Yeah.
Their chance is beatable, but at the same time it's like
we're not going to let up 5 goals. That's just not in us. Like I said, we've only given up 9 this whole season. Take off the last 2 where we really fucked up and a few other ones that were fuck ups, and we've basically given up no goals.
Incredible logic.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm here for.
Other soccer, USLW Northwest Division. There were 2 games this weekend. West Seattle Roadies beat Lane United 2-0.
First win ever for them.
Yep. And
Roadies.
Jesus Christ. Every time. And then my team, FC Olympia, beat Bigfoot FC 5-0.
Listen, I'm trying to get one of those Roadies jerseys for free. You seen them? They're nice.
Anyway, other soccer notes. Claudia Dickey signed a contract extension through 2028.
That's pretty great.
I posted a thing on my Instagram. It was
I saw you tag her too. I was like, man, you probably don't need to tag her. Oh, that's hilarious though.
It was something like a year ago I would have been pissed. And now we love her. So that's exciting and that's good. I like to shore that up. Do it now.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Champions League final?
I did.
Yeah, UEFA Champions League final for the women. Arsenal played Barcelona, and
Arsenal, it was a really fun game.
It was a really fun game. I've watched the last couple legs of this tournament, and Arsenal, they have good days and bad days, and they have days when some players show up, some days when other players show up, and for some reason in this game, Barcelona didn't show up.
No.
And everyone on the Arsenal team showed up.
Yeah. It wasn't without effort from Barcelona, but they looked gassed and out of ideas by the end of it.
Yeah.
They looked like just defeated even before it was over by nearly in the end.
So, yeah, Stina Blackstenius came on as a sub and scored from another sub, Beth Mead. Incredible. I really enjoyed the celebration videos that I've seen.
It was great because Kim Little also got finally
Kim
got her
Little
Champions.
Finally got her Champions League title.
Well deserved. That's the part that made me the happiest.
And we had 2 Americans that got a Champions League title. Emily
Yeah.
Fox and Jenna Neiswanger.
Yeah. And Emily Fox was a key part of that too.
Yeah, she played really well. So that was fun. I liked watching that. In devastating player news, one of our old faves, Alana Cook, was announced this week that she tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus.
Brutal.
Blowout. Yeah, that sucks.
She was inching towards maybe getting back to the U.S. women's national team. I mean, it was still a little bit of a long shot given kind of what the situation is with trying to get young players worked into that. But
she made it harder for herself the last time she was called up.
Yeah, and now she's having the biggest setback you could possibly have on your knee.
Yeah, so all the well wishes to her.
I think Dabini is going to be out for a while too. I think obviously
I saw that.
Yeah, because they had all those injuries in that last match. So Dabini's out. Who was the other one? There's a third one. Chewinga.
Chewinga played.
Yeah, so she's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but Dabini is going to be out for a little bit too. Anyways, not great.
Not great.
As much as I hate Casey winning all the time, I do love individual players.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Reigns' next match, they play San Diego away at San Diego Friday, June 6th, 7 p.m. You can catch that on Amazon Prime. It is the first of 3 games on the road for the Reign in a row.
Things we want to see. I said goals, emphasis on the S. And if I don't see goals, I want to see just like a slurry of goal, like dangerous goal opportunities, because that will at least kind of give me some like ease of mind that like they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure out how to get something going at some point, because I'm not fully seeing that. Like,
you have to create more chances.
Yeah.
You can't rely on putting your one chance away every game.
No,
it's just not how it works.
Especially when SD put up 5 in the last game of theirs.
Right.
So
I put things that I want to see: not getting cooked in the back.
Fair.
Gotta make sure the defense is locked down.
Yeah. This goes back to like, remember when I complained about like letting people shoot from distance?
Yeah.
Like I think maybe I was wrong. Because they getting cooked in the back of like this game. I was like, I hate this. No, I actually hate this.
It's always better to have players shooting from distance because it means it's not as dangerous. So we do have 2 players playing out with the U.S. Women's National Team this coming week. That's Lynn Biondolo and Claudia Dickey. So
I was like, hopefully they'll both play.
Yeah. So the first game is this Saturday, the 31st at 2:30 p.m. on TBS against China. And then there's another game on Tuesday, the 3rd at 5 p.m. on TNT versus Jamaica. And the youth national team, which has 4 Reign players, Sam Meza, Maddie Darlene, Emily Mason, and Jordan Bugg. They're all going to the U23 camp for games against Germany, May 30th and June 3rd. I could not for the life of me find any sort of streaming.
Is that one in Germany?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's not what I want to hear. I do not need our young players traveling that far in a week.
They're young. Like it. They can take it.
I don't know. I'm scared of knees, all right?
Yeah. I could not find for the life of me anywhere to stream those games. So keep us updated if you find that.
I guess this kind of really changes maybe what might happen in the San Diego game, depending on how much minutes they play. Why? Anyways, I think that's pretty much all we got for this episode. Sorry, it was a bummer. Sometimes things are a bummer, and that's okay, because now we have some time off to regroup, to enjoy each other's company, hopefully to have some good weather, hold hands. Just, the usual things you do.
Watch the national team ball out. Hopefully you get to see Claudia Dickey get her first cap.
Yeah, you could also mention that. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful she'll get a start.
I think so.
She has to. They don't know what they're doing with their goalkeeper situation. They haven't committed to Fallon. They haven't. So they have to try Dickey too.
I think so.
Or else Emma Hayes.
I would bet that they play Fallon in the China game and then play Dickey in the Jamaica game.
Okay.
We'll see.
You got any shout outs for the week?
No.
Neither do I. Thanks once again to our sponsor, the doctor's office. As always, you can go follow us on social media. We're on Bluesky and Instagram at Cooler Guild Pod.
You can send us an email at thecoolerguild@gmail.com. We love an email. Oh, and we also have our website. I want so many cold medications. You can also visit us on our main website, sounderatheart.com/thecoolerguild.
We're also on YouTube. We got most episodes up there on video, so you can see how nice we don't look.
Yeah, can you not put this one up? Because
I don't
look
think I'm
like,
gonna put this one up.
I
It's
look like
also,
sick trash.
it's like you're sick trash and you're a loser.
Okay,
I mean, I
sweaty
am
Betty over there.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm sweaty like a fucking. It's 75 degrees up in the room. I mean, I am fucking hot. I don't think I'm pitting yet, but if this is because this episode's short. Anyways, not this episode, but other episodes. YouTube.com/@thecoolerguild. Wherever you're listening, please go rate 5 stars. Till next time, I'm Coop.
I'm Van.
Stay cool, y'all.
Stay cool, y'all.
Not like I am right now.